It's that time again, and I don't think you want to miss it. Welcome back. Thanks for stopping by Two Hands and a Foot. We won't tell you who's who. Before we get started, though, go ahead and click that like button. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Click that notification bell so you don't ever miss an episode. And then share this with all your friends so we can get this channel going big. Now let's get into it.
We are back again. Chapter 8. My buddy Whedon. I don't know how much better it could get. What do you think, Whedon? Can it get any better than this?
Man, this is probably one of the greatest things I've done this year.
I've heard so many good raves about this book from people who I know that I've talked about it to, who stopped by the channel and got inspired to read it. So I'm looking forward to it. So you ready to jump right in?
Oh man, let's do it.
All right, chapter 8. What do you got, Whedon?
Chapter 8, let me reread this tagline again. It was, if you want to save the world, be your very best in the darkest of moments. This one, he goes into a couple of different stories again. One, of course, during his training, and then one later on in his career. So during his training, it was covering their culminating dive event. So trainees have got to get in the water in buddy teams, swim underwater at night in the pitch dark, off the coast, out into the bay, plant a dummy mine on the hull of a ship that's parked out there, and then swim back undetected. Of course, being dark and underwater, there is no real way to navigate. So while on land, you got to take a good compass reading and use your compass because it glows, so you can still see it underwater at night. So that night there was a nice deep fog that rolled in. Couldn't hardly see the ship to get a good compass reading off of it, but he and his team prepared themselves, and their instructor mentioned that this would be the hardest day of their training, the hardest thing they did. After that, it goes into a more solemn story. Standing on the tarmac in Bagram Air Force Base, Afghanistan, and preparing for what's known as a ramp ceremony. Unfortunately, over the last 20 years, as we all know, we've been involved in actions overseas, war on terror, and sometimes that does take its toll on our friendly side as well as the enemy. So those remains have to be brought home. And he was there to witness the ramp ceremony this time of a particular soldier. He didn't go into who it was or even if he knew him. Talked about the entire process. I'm not going to go too deep into it here. Of course, anyone can look it up. It's in the book. You can also watch videos of ramp ceremonies. He goes into how all the men and women present were they weren't hiding emotion. They let it show, but they were also professional. They went about their duties within the ceremony. And so, yeah, those two stories definitely kind of put a light on different things that can bring darkness into one's life. And about how we all need to accept that the dark times will come. Be ready for those dark times. Have the strength and fortitude to continue to be the best version of ourselves through those. Not only is it good for us, it's good for those around us who are also experiencing that trouble. Being a strong person in a family who's just lost a loved one. Being the motivator on a really crappy PT run. It's always something, some kind of a trial. Yeah. And it's important to stay ahead of the darkness. One thing they teach us in the military is, we all go through resiliency training.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's probably one of the few monthly death by PowerPoints that I actually enjoy. It's important training, and it's good to soak in. And I encourage anyone, military, civilian, whatever, go out and find copies of that resiliency training. If you know me personally, reach out to me. I'll provide you a copy of the slide deck. It's all good information. But yeah, that's the main thing is you have to be resilient, because if you're not, you'll find yourself in a dark place. Sometimes the darkness takes over. I know we've both been touched by people who have lost that particular fight. It's not fun to be the one that's still left behind.
Yeah.
But sometimes resiliency can be reaching out to other people as well, if that's what it takes to get you back to being the best you. And that's the important part. Be the best you can be, even in the darkest of times.
I agree. One of the things I liked and that you mentioned was the fact that it's okay to show emotion.
Yes.
That it's okay to feel that effect. That it's not wrong. It's not incorrect. It's not out of character to feel that impact. That means you're human.
Yeah. Doesn't show weakness at all.
Not one bit. And so, I like the fact that he gave a personal, almost individual account of a real dark time with potential danger in it, and then a collective dark time where a number of people were feeling this loss all at the same time. And so, I think that we need to remember that it's okay to have those feelings. That's the way we were designed. We were designed to be able to grieve. We were designed to be able to feel bad in a situation. But like you said, we also need to know that at those times, we need to strap up sometimes, and we need to be the person that people look to for guidance, for help, and for motivation to get out of that rut. So I like that a lot. That's great insight on this chapter. Yeah, you said it. We've all been touched by darkness, and it's different things at different stages in our lives. Whether it be something as simple as losing a game, and you didn't perform well enough to win the game, or you've lost a loved one, or you've lost a job, or those types of things that happen, or a disaster happens. The hurricane down in Florida right now. People are out of power and losing possessions and such. And so there are people who are there who, okay, they've lost some stuff, but they're helping others, and in that they're being that hope. And so they're being the best version of themselves. And I like that. So yeah, great insight. Anything else?
That's about all I had for this one.
Awesome, man. I think that's a great chapter. I don't know if I would think they did, but if they didn't, that's a great chapter after the ones that we've been through. The whole sugar cookie failure, bullies. I think those things bring about a dark time for some people.
Oh yeah.
And we get through those chapters, and now we have, hey, in the midst of the darkness, be your best self. And so with no condemnation upon how you got there, how you feel that you're in there, it's, hey, no matter what, be your best self. I like that. So if they did that on purpose, put those 3 chapters right before this one here, they did a great job of it. If not, it was a great happenstance.
Right.
To have this chapter there. So I think it's a perfect fit for where we are in this book and where we are and what we're talking about as far as making our bed, doing the little things that get us going through the day. So even at the end of that day that's been horrible. We just had a dark day. We can come home to a bed made by us, and say there's hope for tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So I like it. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Chapter 8 was awesome.
Absolutely, man. Every chapter is awesome.
Indeed. Looking forward to the next one. Speaking of that, everybody, it is Labor Day weekend coming up. And so we are going to push recording and putting out the last 2 chapters of this book. Don't worry, we're going to do it. We are going to do it. But we have plans for the weekend. And so we're going to detach a little bit and work on some other things. And then we'll come back next week after the holiday, after Labor Day, and we'll get back onto it and put out the last 2 episodes. So if you're waiting the next couple days for that, go enjoy your weekend. No pressure to have to whatever. Obviously, if anything does come on the channel, you'll be notified and have a good time doing that. But as far as the book review is going to go, we'll wait for that until we get done with our weekend and we can get back to a more formal setting. So everything, the speech, the book link to purchase it is going to be in the description as always. And then you can follow this channel on X. Go ahead and do that. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification button, and then please go ahead, please share this with everybody so we can get the word out and get this channel going big time. Other than that, you guys have a great day, night, evening, what have you. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you on the flip side.